2016. So initially I thought of doing the Dear 2016 video in a very well produced, like nicely edited, clean format that I think you guys really enjoy that, but while I was editing it just didn't really occur to me to actually put it up here because it just didn't convey all those messages together. It wasn't telling it in a very authentic and genuine way. It was just more like a visually pleasing piece of video. So instead I just decided to sit down here and chat to you guys like I'm talking to you guys in real life. So I hope you guys have a chance to rewind the year together with me and reflect and just look back and learn from what we did. So grab yourself a cup of tea. I have mine here. We're going to be very, very personal and raw. Feel free to grab a sheet mask and do it while watching this video. No judgment at all. So 2016 was such a big year. I think at one point it almost felt too big to me to handle everything and go through everything and cope with everything that was just happening to me, and like I was going through these new emotions that I really never had to deal with before. And also it was one of the toughest years ever in my entire life, but at the same time was one of the best years because it taught me so many valuable lessons. It shifted my perspective completely, and I really didn't know why, because nothing tragic was happening to me. It wasn't something like, oh, why is this happening to me? Like, why does it have to be me going through all these? It was more like, what is wrong with myself and why am I viewing things so negatively? And I think this was the question that I asked the most to myself in the entire year. In the beginning of this year, I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and guys, don't worry, I'm not dying. You just need to medicate it for a long period. And I'm talking about 3 to 5 years. On top of that, it was kind of like a transitioning phase in my life because I was adjusting to this new freelance lifestyle, sleeping at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning and waking up in the afternoon. I was really unhealthy because I was lacking in physical activities. I was working at home all day long, sitting at my desk. I wasn't working out, and that eventually led me to gain a lot of weight. And by gaining weight, it made me so insecure to meet people in real life, and I wasn't really confident enough to film a single video and put myself out here on my own YouTube channel, which I cultivated for years over years, but I was just too afraid that people was going to judge me because I was really insecure and unstable. So this kind of like really unhealthy vicious life cycle was just spiraling me down to a very deep, dark, very depressed state. So now I think what a gift that was to actually have that diagnosed and also live an unhealthy lifestyle, to make me realize how unhealthy I was and how unstable I was. It just totally changed my perspective upside down, and also it was such an alarming moment, but at the same time awakening moment to make me realize, most importantly, who I am. And I think self-realization is such a big keyword of 2016 in my life. Dear February 2016 is probably the most meaningful video that I've ever created, just personally, because it was the very first moment that I was bloody honest with you guys. I was completely, purely just really raw and just really bold, and I stated that I wasn't okay at that moment and I wasn't expecting it, but it's really astonishing to see how it really sparked a lot of you guys to be more honest and create a very deep and meaningful conversation in the comment section. I go back to that video from time to time to just read your comments and get inspired again. And I just learned that by showing the most vulnerable, or probably the weakest side that you wanted to hide, by showing that, it actually sparks a whole new level of connection and a bond. And it just brought me closer to a lot of you guys. I mean, I may have lost a lot of audience through that video because not everyone's going to accept your vulnerabilities, but I just gained such a flourishing new level of engagement with the people who resonated with me. So I really cherish that. I'm really grateful for that, and I think the lesson is definitely learned through that video. Being more vulnerable and being more authentic and being more honest with you guys, just it's a new power in the modern society, and I feel like nowadays we are lacking authenticity and we are lacking genuine people. We are lacking honesty in general, even to yourself. If you're not okay, that's totally fine. That's perfectly fine. Just feel what you need to feel and just be present in your feelings and just be honest with other people about your feelings. And you don't need to put on different masks to please other people. If they truly love you, or if you start just being honest with people, they are going to put their mask down and be honest with you as well, and you will have this like whole new level of friendship, relationship. And I think that's the most beautiful lesson that I learned throughout this year, the authenticity. Another lesson that is so fundamental and crucial to me is that just being honest with myself, with my really own self, and it links to everything else. And my friend Michael, he taught me this, and he was the very first one to confront me that I don't seem okay. When I heard that, I nearly had a breakdown. Like, I cried for 3 hours in the middle of the street in Singapore. Until he pointed out I wasn't okay, I didn't even know that I wasn't okay because I was lying to myself. When I was feeling a spark of negativity in my emotions, I would say I'm not supposed to feel like this. Depression is a bad thing. It can't happen to me. But as I always say, it's okay not to be okay. And by acknowledging the fact that you are not okay, it actually fixes the problem, because that's a basic step that you have to take to analyze what your problem is. Let's say if you have depression, you can't deny the fact that you have depression. You will keep living in that depression forever because you don't know you are in a depressed state because you're lying to yourself. And I was in that state too. If anyone asks how are you, you will automatically respond, everything's great, everything's fine. But if your inner self asks you how are you, you can't lie that everything's fine when your life is literally tearing apart and falling apart. You can fake to anyone else but to yourself. You have to just really confront yourself constantly. Just have a DNM moment with yourself from now and then. And in order to feel what we really feel, I think it's really, really important to press pause button from now and then to kind of step back and see where we're actually going and how we're feeling and what we're doing. And I know it's really, really easy to get caught up by your busy daily routine, your work, flooding emails, and getting absorbed by social media, especially for me since my job is to constantly post all across the social media platforms. It actually makes me a little bit numb about what I'm actually feeling at that actual moment, because I'm taking snaps, pictures, and videos and vlogs instead of just actually being present and just really enjoying the moment. So now I try to consciously make the effort to be more present, especially when I'm spending my time with friends, family, and I also started taking 10 minutes of my entire 24 hours to press the pause button at the end of the day, just to look back what I've done that day and also how I feel and what I was feeling that day, to kind of organize my thoughts and write my journal if I can and express myself and express what I'm feeling. And it just really makes a very, very huge difference in terms of gratitude as well. Since I'm trying to be more present, I'm more grateful for having the ability to spend my time with the people that I'm spending my time with. So I think it really has a lot of benefit. Yeah, it's great. So those were the major things that I learned throughout my entire year of 2016, throughout my experiences of lows and highs and ups and downs and everything. Thank you guys so much for riding the roller coaster journey with me. You guys have been always so supportive, and I really, really, really cannot thank you guys enough. And I really love you guys, and it's really coming from the bottom of my heart. You guys were probably the biggest part of my year, and I'm really looking forward to our relationship in 2017 as well. There's one thing that I really want you guys to do: reflect your year back as well. And I found this method through Forleo. She has an amazing YouTube channel. You have to go subscribe to her, and she's so inspiring. She actually suggests you guys to ask 3 questions to review your entire year, and the very first one is to write down everything what you are proud of this year and digest everything you did. And the second step is write down every mistakes or failures or bad experiences and what did you learn from it? Lastly, you list all the things that you wanted to do this year, but you never got around to do it. It might be something that's holding you back from moving forward. It might be something that's unnecessary at the current stage of your life. Let go of all the crap that's holding you back, and you can devote that time and energy and resource to other meaningful things in your life. I love doing this exercise, and I hope you guys can do it too. It really inspired me to turn on my camera and share it with you guys today, so hope you guys can do it. I hope you guys are happy and healthy. Love you guys so much, and Happy New Year's. Bye.